Let me be honest with you about something that almost nobody is talking about, and it has everything to do with that glass of water sitting right next to you. After the age of 60, drinking plain water the way you have been your entire life might actually be doing less for your body than you think. Now, before you click away, I need you to hear me out, because what I'm about to share with you is not some trendy wellness gimmick or a supplement ad in disguise. This is grounded in how the aging cardiovascular system actually works, and once you understand it, you will never look at your morning hydration routine the same way again. A major study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults absorb and retain water significantly less efficiently than younger people, meaning that even when seniors drink the recommended amount of plain water, a large portion of it passes through their body without delivering the cellular hydration their tissues actually need. And here is where it gets really interesting. Poor cellular hydration in people over 60 is directly linked to sluggish blood flow, increased blood viscosity, and a higher risk of the kind of dangerous cardiovascular events that doctors refer to as silent threats because they build up slowly over years without obvious symptoms. But here's the good news, and this is exactly why you are going to want to stay with me for the next several minutes. There is one simple, inexpensive, and completely natural trick you can add to your water that research suggests can measurably improve circulation, enhance how your blood moves through your vessels, and help your body actually use the hydration you are giving it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you are going to have a clear, practical strategy you can start using tomorrow morning. Now let us back up and talk about what actually happens to your cardiovascular system as you age, because understanding this is what makes everything else in this video click into place. When you are in your 20s and 30s, your blood vessels are elastic, flexible, and responsive. Your heart pumps blood efficiently, your vessel walls expand and contract with ease, and your blood flows smoothly through a well-maintained system. But starting around your mid-40s and accelerating significantly after 60, a number of biological changes begin to quietly work against that efficiency. The walls of your arteries gradually stiffen. The inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, becomes less responsive to the signals that cause vessels to dilate and relax. And your blood itself begins to change in ways that most people are completely unaware of. As people age, blood tends to become thicker and more viscous, which means it literally flows more slowly through the body. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to push honey through a narrow straw versus pushing water through that same straw. The thicker the fluid, the harder the heart has to work, and the slower the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to every single organ, muscle, and tissue in your body. This is not a dramatic emergency situation you would notice immediately. It happens quietly, over years, and for many people it manifests as fatigue, cold hands and feet, brain fog, slow wound healing, and a general feeling of slowing down that most people just chalk up to getting older. But here is what is fascinating, and what the medical community is increasingly paying attention to. A significant portion of what we call normal aging in the cardiovascular system is actually modifiable, meaning you have more control over it than you have likely been told. Let us now talk about hydration itself, because this is where most people over 60 are making a mistake without even realizing it. Most health advice around hydration focuses on quantity. Drink 8 glasses a day, drink half your body weight in ounces, and so on. And while quantity does matter, the conversation that is far more important for older adults is about quality and absorption. Here is something that will surprise you. As you get older, your kidneys become less efficient at conserving water, and your thirst mechanism becomes less reliable. Younger people feel thirst before they are significantly dehydrated. Older adults, however, often do not feel strong thirst signals even when their body is already in a mild state of dehydration. This is not a character flaw or a sign of neglect. It is a documented physiological change that happens to virtually everyone past a certain age. And what does mild chronic dehydration do to your blood flow? It makes your blood thicker. It reduces the volume of plasma, which is the liquid component of your blood that carries red blood cells, white blood cells, and nutrients through your vessels. When plasma volume drops, blood becomes denser, your heart works harder, circulation slows, and the downstream effects are felt throughout the body. A 2019 study from the European Journal of Nutrition found that even mild dehydration in older adults was associated with measurably increased blood viscosity and reduced microcirculation, meaning the tiny capillaries that feed your organs and extremities were receiving less blood flow. And this is why plain water, while absolutely necessary, is not always doing the full job on its own. So what is the trick? What is the one addition to your water that can make a meaningful difference in blood flow and circulation? The answer is a small amount of high-quality sea salt, specifically a natural, unprocessed salt like pink Himalayan salt or Celtic gray salt, combined with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Now, before you close this video thinking that sounds too simple, stay with me because the science behind why this combination works is genuinely fascinating. Your blood and bodily fluids are not pure water. They are a carefully balanced solution of water, electrolytes, minerals, and other compounds. Electrolytes, particularly sodium, potassium, and magnesium, are what allow water to actually move into your cells rather than just passing through your digestive system and out the other side. When you drink plain water without electrolytes, especially in large quantities, you can actually dilute the sodium in your bloodstream, which triggers your kidneys to excrete more water rather than absorb it. This is why some people can drink large amounts of water and still feel thirsty or experience frequent urination without feeling truly hydrated. A pinch of natural sea salt in your morning water, and we are talking about a very small amount, roughly 1/8 of a teaspoon, provides trace minerals and the sodium your cells need to actually pull water across cell membranes through a process called osmosis. This is not controversial science. This is basic human physiology that has been understood for decades but rarely gets translated into practical advice for everyday people. Now here's where the lemon juice comes in, and this is the part that surprises most people. Fresh lemon juice contains a compound called hesperidin, a flavonoid that has been studied specifically for its effects on blood vessel function and circulation. A clinical trial published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that hesperidin supplementation improved blood flow in microvessels and reduced markers of endothelial dysfunction, which is the medical term for when the inner lining of your blood vessels is not working as efficiently as it should. Now, squeezing fresh lemon into your water will not give you the same concentrated dose used in a clinical supplement trial, but what it does give you is a meaningful natural source of hesperidin, vitamin C, and potassium, all of which work together to support your vascular health in a cumulative, daily way. Vitamin C in particular is essential for collagen synthesis, and collagen is what gives your blood vessel walls their structural integrity and flexibility. When your vessels have adequate collagen, they are better able to expand and contract in response to blood pressure changes, which reduces the strain on your heart and improves the overall flow of blood through your system. And when you combine fresh lemon with the electrolyte boost from a pinch of sea salt, you get a morning hydration drink that is genuinely doing something for your circulation rather than simply adding fluid volume. Let us talk about timing, because this is an aspect of the hydration and circulation relationship that most people completely overlook. The best time to drink this enhanced water is first thing in the morning, before coffee, before breakfast, and ideally within 15 minutes of waking up. Here is why that timing is so important. During sleep, your body goes 6 to 8 hours without any fluid intake. Your blood naturally thickens slightly during this period, and your circulation is at its slowest pace relative to when you are active during the day. This is actually one of the reasons why cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes are statistically more common in the early morning hours. Your blood is at its most viscous at that time of day, and any existing narrowing in your vessels has less margin for error when blood flow is already at its slowest. Starting your day by immediately supporting your circulation with a properly mineralized, hydrating drink is like giving your cardiovascular system a head start before the demands of the day begin. One glass of this lemon and sea salt water in the morning is not a cure or a treatment for any cardiovascular condition, and I want to be completely clear about that. But as a daily supportive habit that works alongside a sensible lifestyle, it is genuinely one of the most practical and low-cost things you can do to support healthy blood flow as you age. Now I want to address a concern that some of you may have, and it is an important one. You might be thinking, wait, I have been told to watch my sodium intake because of blood pressure, and that is a legitimate concern worth discussing carefully. Here is the distinction that matters. The kind of sodium that research consistently links to elevated blood pressure and cardiovascular risk is the heavily processed, refined table salt found in packaged foods, fast food, canned goods, and restaurant meals. That salt is stripped of its trace minerals, chemically treated, and consumed in large amounts through processed foods, often without people even realizing how much they are eating. The small amount of natural, unprocessed sea salt we are talking about here, 1/8 of a teaspoon in a glass of water, contains roughly 290 milligrams of sodium. For most adults, including most people over 60 with normal to mildly elevated blood pressure who are not on a strict medically supervised sodium restriction, this is a very modest amount that provides mineral support without contributing meaningfully to overall sodium load. That said, if you are currently on a doctor-prescribed low-sodium diet, or if you have been specifically told to restrict sodium by your physician due to heart failure, kidney disease, or another condition, please consult with your doctor before making any changes to your hydration habits. This video is general health education, not personalized medical advice, and your individual circumstances always matter more than any general recommendation. Let me now share a few additional habits that work powerfully alongside this morning hydration practice to support healthy blood flow and circulation after 60, because hydration is one piece of a larger picture. The first is movement immediately after waking. Even just 10 minutes of light walking or gentle stretching in the morning has been shown to meaningfully improve circulation by activating your muscles, which act as secondary pumps for your blood and lymphatic system. When you sit still for long periods, including during sleep, blood can pool in your legs and your circulation becomes sluggish. Moving your body early in the morning, even modestly, helps push that blood back through your system and gets your heart rate up in a healthy, sustainable way. The second habit is deeply underappreciated, and that is nasal breathing during rest and light activity. Research from the Nobel Prize-winning work on nitric oxide has established that nasal breathing triggers the release of nitric oxide from the nasal passages, and nitric oxide is one of the most powerful natural vasodilators your body produces. It literally relaxes and widens your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow with less resistance. Mouth breathing, which many older adults do habitually, bypasses this mechanism entirely. Simply practicing nasal breathing during your morning walk or during quiet rest can have a measurable effect on how well your blood is moving through your body. Third, and this one is simple but powerful, keeping your feet elevated slightly during periods of rest, especially if you tend to sit for long stretches during the day, can dramatically reduce the pooling of blood in your lower extremities and support overall circulation. A small wedge cushion or even a folded blanket under your feet while sitting can make a noticeable difference over time. Let us also talk briefly about certain foods that have strong research support for improving blood flow and that integrate seamlessly into the lifestyle of someone who is serious about their vascular health after 60. Beetroot, and beetroot juice in particular, is one of the most well-studied natural circulation boosters available. It is rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts to nitric oxide, producing the same vessel-widening effect we talked about earlier. A meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology reviewed multiple clinical trials and found that beetroot juice supplementation consistently and measurably improved blood pressure and blood flow in both healthy adults and those with existing cardiovascular concerns. Incorporating fresh or juiced beetroot into your diet several times a week is one of the most evidence-backed dietary choices you can make for your circulation. Dark leafy greens like spinach, arugula, and Swiss chard are also excellent sources of dietary nitrates and should be staples in the diet of anyone focused on vascular health. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids that reduce blood viscosity, decrease inflammation in vessel walls, and support the flexibility of red blood cells, all of which contribute to smoother, more efficient blood flow. And dark chocolate, the real kind, with at least 70% cacao, contains flavonols that have been shown in multiple clinical studies to improve blood vessel function and reduce blood pressure in healthy adults. A small amount daily is genuinely good for your cardiovascular system, which is one of those facts that always makes people smile when they hear it. One more aspect of circulation that is rarely discussed in everyday health content is the role of emotional stress on blood flow. And this one is particularly important for the demographic watching this channel. When you experience psychological stress, worry, anxiety, frustration, grief, isolation, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that cause your blood vessels to constrict. This is a survival mechanism that evolved to help your ancestors deal with immediate physical threats, and in short bursts it serves a purpose. But when stress becomes chronic, which for many older adults navigating health concerns, financial pressures, loneliness, or caring for others, it absolutely can. Those chronically elevated stress hormones keep your blood vessels in a state of partial constriction for extended periods. Over months and years, this contributes to arterial stiffness, elevated baseline blood pressure, and reduced circulation. This is not a soft wellness concept. It is measurable, documented physiology. Simple daily practices that activate your parasympathetic nervous system, slow, deep breathing exercises, time in nature, connection with friends and family, gentle yoga or tai chi, are genuinely cardiovascular interventions in a very real sense. They reduce the hormonal burden on your blood vessels and allow your circulation to work at its natural, optimal level. If you are someone who tends to downplay the emotional and psychological dimensions of health, I would encourage you to reconsider, because your blood vessels are listening to everything you feel. Now let me bring this all together for you with a practical morning routine built around everything we have discussed. Something simple, sustainable, and grounded in actual science. The moment you wake up, before reaching for your phone or turning on the television, get a glass of room temperature water, not ice cold, because cold water can cause mild vessel constriction in your esophagus and stomach, and squeeze in the juice of half a fresh lemon. Add approximately 1/8 of a teaspoon of natural sea salt, either pink Himalayan or Celtic gray. Stir it gently and drink it slowly over 5 to 10 minutes while standing or sitting upright. Follow that with 10 to 15 minutes of light movement, a walk around the block, some gentle stretching, or even just moving around your home. Practice breathing through your nose during that movement. If you have beetroot available, consider adding it to your breakfast a few times a week. Keep your stress awareness active throughout the day and give yourself permission to rest, to breathe deeply, and to prioritize the quiet moments that tell your nervous system it is safe to relax. This is not a dramatic overhaul. It does not cost a significant amount of money. It does not require a gym membership or a complicated supplement stack. It is a collection of intelligent, evidence-informed habits that work with your body's natural systems to keep your blood moving, your vessels healthy, and your energy and clarity as strong as they can be in this chapter of your life. Here is what I want to leave you with. The conversation around aging and health in America is often framed around fear. Fear of disease, fear of decline, fear of losing independence. And while awareness of real risks is important, what I hope this video has shown you is that the same biology that makes your cardiovascular system more vulnerable after 60 also responds remarkably well to smart, consistent daily care. Your blood vessels can become more flexible, your circulation can improve, your morning hydration routine can actually work for your body rather than just passing through it. Small, intelligent changes, made consistently, produce real results over time, and the best time to start is always now. Before I close out today, I want to hear from you, and I genuinely mean that. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever tried adding anything to your water for health benefits? Maybe lemon, salt, apple cider vinegar, or something else entirely? Or maybe this video introduced you to something you had never considered before. I read through your comments and your stories genuinely shape the topics I bring to this channel. If this video gave you something valuable, a new perspective, a habit you are going to try, or just a reason to pay a little more attention to how you hydrate, please share it with someone you care about who is in this season of life. Because the people around us deserve to have access to this kind of information too. And if you have not already subscribed to this channel, now is a great time to do that. We put out content every week focused on practical, research-backed health strategies specifically for adults over 60 who are not willing to just accept decline as inevitable. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of that incredible body of yours. It has carried you a long way, and with the right support, it has a great deal more road ahead.